Hello again, and welcome to Weekly Rough Rider Americana. I am your host, Teddy Roosevelt, and today we are going to cover the Franklin Delano Roosevelt Memorial. I know it's been a while since my last upload, and I am very sorry. The place I was at had poor internet. I have changed locations with great internet. And as you know, 2020 was not the most ideal year. So Happy New Year and let us continue. Now, as someone who has been to Washington, D.C., in fact, lived there for a year, I can tell you that the FDR Memorial is a great memorial to go to, and it helps us remember, as Americans, the importance of his presidency. As always, I would like to promote Dr. Zev Goldman Viner, good friend of mine, and has a great series of books coming out that I think you will thoroughly enjoy. Freedom of speech, freedom of worship, freedom from want, freedom from fear. These words by Franklin Delano Roosevelt ushered the United States into World War II and defined what it is to be an American. Stop by this scheduled memorial and begin to understand the Roosevelt legacy. Now, this Roosevelt is also a relative of President Teddy Roosevelt. It was a very important political dynasty in America at this time. Franklin Delano Roosevelt, or FDR, was one of the most important presidents in United States history. He led the United States through the Great Depression and World War II. Now, FDR and the federal government had to conceal the fact that FDR had to use a wheelchair. You may wonder, why are they concealing this? Why doesn't the public know? They did it for morale reasons. The Great Depression and then World War II had caused massive mental, emotional, and even physical strain on the American people. And if they saw their president in a wheelchair, they would themselves feel that they were weak. So by concealing this fact that he was in a wheelchair, it helped keep morale high, and it helped the American people to struggle on through the Depression and World War II. The unending stress and strain of the war literally wore Roosevelt out. By early 1944, a full medical examination disclosed serious heart and circulatory problems, and although his physicians placed him on a strict regimen of diet and medication, the pressures of war and domestic politics weighed heavily on him. During a vacation at Warm Springs, Georgia, on April 12, 1945, he suffered a massive stroke and died 2.5 hours later without regaining consciousness. He was 63 years old. His death came on the eve of complete military victory in Europe and within months of victory over Japan in the Pacific. Now, as you can see, this memorial has a one-of-a-kind layout and design. In fact, you almost think it's not a memorial. You may think it may be a visitor center or something to that effect, but in fact it's a memorial. It's very unique, very interesting, and very enlightening. So, since the memorial has a very unique layout, there are different parts of the memorial, each one covering aspects of FDR's four-term administration. FDR is the only president in United States history to serve 4 terms as president, and this was mainly because of the Great Depression and the Second World War. After his death, and after the Second World War, it was passed in the Constitution that a president can now only serve 2 terms as president. Thanks again for watching. See you next time. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope to be making more in the future. I have been your host, Teddy Roosevelt, and this has been Weekly Rough Rider Americana.